Stories say something incredibly precious about a culture.
I can sense that in your playing.
And you have to communicate them through art. And when we communicate across difference, we are changed.
Good evening. Please join me in welcoming Silkroad.
The Silkroad Ensemble is an amazing collective of artists, of musicians from different cultural traditions. We're listening to others' perspectives, finding ways to communicate with people who might be more comfortable speaking a different language, and we explore what is possible when strangers meet.
I think we've really thought more about Silkroad as a metaphor for that kind of exchange between cultures. We spoke different languages, different musical languages, but those friendships grew over time into a family. That makes it a really exciting place to create and to make music.
This is the beginning of an artistic creation based on friendship. We're going into the 20th year of our collaboration, and this is something we haven't done before. This is the first workshop, and we're exchanging ideas about what to do, where to go from here. I'm very excited about the project and where it's going.
I was always fascinated with heroes. I don't mean by heroes superheroes, heroes that these days we see in Hollywood movies, that kind of grow out of comic book characters. Heroes that are closer to tragic heroes. What has fascinated me is moments where heroes make a choice, either between right or wrong, good and better. There is this common human moment that heroes confront. And at that moment is the moment that words, in my view, always stop. But then I thought, this is where music starts. This is where the universal language of music can express the inexpressible, where the hero takes his stand.
There is a really important message here. These heroes, they were all normal people. How can we inspire more heroism today through these 5 lenses of the past? The first one is Electra from the classical playwriting world. June Snow, which is a One Dynasty play. Arjuna from the Bhagavad Gita. Martin Luther King. Prince Siavash from the Persian Book of Kings, the Shahnameh. We're going to be forging a new sort of logic with this. It's a theatrical media music logic, and how exciting is that? That's really beautiful.
We don't even really know where we're going to end up, but to kind of go on that journey together, I'm excited about that.
I feel like it's a Silk Road's very new level of challenge, which like a dimension is expanding so much.
I think any good person with conscience can become a hero. And if we can only deliver that to the audience, I think it's a very important thing.
There's so many here. Tell us about them.
We had to choose composers to write pieces for different heroes from different cultures.
Is that what you mean, or do you mean?
That one. What is a hero? Very feminine, no?
Yeah.
That's an archetype that is so common in every single culture, that is a great common denominator to put us all together, no? I am a composer, but I love to interact with different disciplines. I love to mix acoustic sounds with electronic sounds. I always felt that Silkroad was a facilitator to keep changing and transforming my compositions. I was proposed Electra. I was very happy. Female Greek tragedies have very iconic ideas. In the case of Electra, is that it is important to be brave and to fight for what you believe. But since this is a very complex character, it was impossible with one timbre to describe all these peaks of emotion. No? My first question was, how many instruments can I include in my piece? And they said, no, whatever you want. So I put almost all of them. I wanted to describe Electra's nature that is very fiery and super strong. So I started with drums. Then I decided to describe the intensity of her conversation with the gods. Very strong, high-pitched sound, like "Pah!" And this is the intensity of her despair. But then we have that other side that is very melancholic, that has so many nuances, and very delicate with K-hands, Kemanche. The most important thing is that the piece can project the energy of the character. So that closing, no, is very Indian. Tan 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 tan, taka 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 taka, no?
Yeah. 162. 1, 2.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Great.
You're doing great.
Yes.
I think we're on the right track and we're in the right direction. This mixture of putting different pieces together by different composers, this gives me and the ensemble a new dimension, a new way of speaking. I'm from Iran, and I come from a tradition that encourages solo improvisation. But in this ensemble, you learn to listen to others. I always wanted to do something with this Shahnameh story of Siavash. I knew the story by heart. I grew up with it. Siavash wasn't born to be a hero. He was just a prince. Hopefully this is going to be some kind of connection with Persian culture that is basically unknown to the Western public. This is my most challenging piece that I've done during my career. This is 22 minutes of animation. No narrative, no dialogues, no sound, nothing. It's just music. That makes it very hard.
It's like a lashing. Yeah, for me, this part was designed to show the rebirth of the Siavush that it.
I've known Hamid's work for a long time. I always wanted to do something with the images that he creates.
Yeah, it would be cool to play with the light.
Yeah.
So we had many back and forth with Kayhan because it's very unorthodox because usually you have a music, but here we had the visual first as a blueprint.
It involves a lot of thinking. You know, what should I do? Every few seconds we have a change. You know, something's changing and the mood is changing and the color is changing. Finding the right balance between all of these events and condense it to a piece of music. I thought a lot about that, you know, how I'm gonna find a balance. That's my main challenge.
Heroes is 5 different brand new pieces of music. Some of them, really, the ink is still drying.
Having 5 composers and 5 stories is an opportunity to display a mosaic of impressions. It takes a lot more resources to tell a story with this kaleidoscope of impressions. But that is the ambition here.
That's helpful to me. Yeah.
You know what?
In my counting, it's 2 + 10.
Yeah. So it's like,
Our hope is that everybody has agency.
You know.
There's so many elements to put together. We all have to adopt multiple perspectives in the creating of the work.
But I think when you have multiple voices that are on an equal plane, it's very powerful.
It should be very organic. Just things start developing.
I can really sense that this is a huge leap.
We watch Mulan.
That each piece involves a special collaboration.
And then you waited.
Yeah.
Where we're figuring out the sound, the lighting, the staging. Each one is its own little universe.
Haru goes into his...
How do we then make that into a coherent whole so that the audience experience feels intentional and they come out at the other end of the story feeling like they could be the 6th hero? Bravo.
Composers, we know that the final artwork is not on paper. The final artwork is when it's played. Now that I know the performers, I know which instrument is the best for each melody. We rehearsed with the gaita, but then we had to change instruments. We chose the suona. And I never heard, I think, in my life. I did some research, but you know, internet has its limits. But then I started to hear themes on suona, and actually this instrument has that strength, no? Like to call God, no? To invoke God and say, why, no? So I think at the end was a perfect fit. In my case, the most important thing was to describe Electra's emotion. I really wanted to show the humanity of a hero and how vulnerable can she be. So I collaborated with a group of video artists.
This crossfade should be like really slow, like that.
Nomi is my sister, so we have this trust.
I wanted to express this dual reality we have in this world. The acts, the reality, but also that emotional world that we have inside, no? we are describing how Electra felt at the beginning. This desolated landscape of Electra's pain, and then how she tried to change her destiny. The goal was always to show Electra's emotional trip through different landscapes. It sounds so amazing that I really want to see on stage and sit in the audience. Yes.
I think it's an ongoing process. We're not 100% finished, but a work never finishes.
When we hit about 319,
Maybe from here, from the we're could be going on for decades, and you still add notes. We're finding out more about the nature of the pieces, how to play them. The challenge is to find time to really polish everything. We just have 2 days.
Start moving toward a playing position.
2-1-19.
Since we have this new theme and new elements, you realize, whoa, what have I done?
Because all the other pieces end up.
When you write something on paper is one thing. When you put it in front of musicians, it's something else.
I'm excited.
I am too. I wish we had 2 more days. A little more. I'm just listening to the mix here. Wow, it sounds beautiful, really nice.
The mix is good?
Oh yeah, I was there for that. We changed things and the mix is very nice now. It just takes you, wow. I think we've made a lot of progress. I cannot define it or categorize it, but it is certainly something else. And hopefully it offers the audience a new dimension as well.
I have learned a lot throughout the process. The exercise to approach a story from another culture, it is an exercise of compassion. And this is the moment that the piece is brought to life.
I've just had really the most amazing time working on this.
All of us are experiencing something that we hadn't before.
And I think that's a powerful experience for an audience.
Seeing all the different angles come together. And I'm so excited to share this with an audience.
I'm very excited.
Good evening. Welcome to the Unison Soraya Nazarian Center for the Performing Arts. And we're so proud here at the Soraya to believe that nothing better represents what's common amongst all of us than music. Please join me in welcoming Silkroad.
A lot of people think of a hero as some extraordinary human that was touched by time and opportunity.
These people were ordinary people and did the right thing in the right moment.
My hope is that people see themselves in that role and they can see the heroic work that's happening all around them.
There's a lot to learn from the past, and there's a lot of cross-civilization understanding that still needs to happen for our world to be as peaceful as we'd like it to be.
That's funny because it does feel it's been a while.
Something that we try to do in Silkroad is communicate across difference.
Put ourselves in their places and what we can do for this world, for our society, for our home.
It opens your mind and also makes you more empathetic. It is not only about music, it is something about a belief that this diversity can work and sound amazing.
Good night, everyone. Night